Welcome back to WP Sports Desk. I'm Mason Mills, joined alongside Justin, Dylan, Wyatt, and Chris to talk some William Paterson football. The Pioneers played Montclair State for homecoming last Saturday. Let's take a look. Wyatt?
We'll pick it up right here in Wayne, New Jersey at Whiteman Stadium. The captain's on the field. William Paterson has not beaten the Red Hawks in 23 years. Diaz Mays, our very own communication major, gets the start, and he takes a big 25-yard run down the left sideline to around the 25-yard line of Montclair. Then in the next play in the second quarter, he's going to throw it back of the end zone. Anthony DeMarsico, his first touchdown of the day. After a two-point conversion, William Paterson would lead 8-6. Another big sack by Tyler Gross, one of his 2.5 on the day. After an unsportsmanlike conduct, it would be pushed back up a little further. Montclair State would throw it. Pat Moran coming in for the interception. William Paterson does not have a lot of takeaways on the season, and that played big in this game. Diaz Mays on the very next play drops back. 50-yard bomb to the back of the end zone. DeMarsico, who else? He finished with over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was our Pioneer of the week. Then, the teams traded punts. Pat Moran punted it to the back. Went to about the 10-yard line. The Red Hawks can't corral it. William Paterson will take it inside their 10. This would lead to a William Paterson field goal by Nick DeAngelis, who hasn't missed one all season. He's been perfect. Pioneers would lead 18-6. Game's not over yet. Montclair State going to drop back. Another sack by Tyler Gross. Montclair State would have to punt it away. William Paterson get the ball back. 3 minutes left. Kyle Fanny's going to fumble. It's not over. Montclair State gets the ball back, and the Red Hawks have a little bit of life at the 50-yard line. Down 18-6. A long pass gets away with a little shove off. They go down to the 10-yard line. Red Hawks get the ball. They're going to throw it to the back of the end zone. Little fade route. Going to beat Hanif Jennings, and now it's 18-13. It's not over yet. Hans team comes on the field. Montclair State going to recover the ball. It's not over. About 1:40 left, and the Red Hawks have it. Now he's going to try to roll out left. Omar Mahmoud with the game-winning sack on 4th down, and that would end it. Victory formation for the Pioneers, and victory here on the campus of William Paterson. They get their first win over Montclair State in 23 years, one of the biggest wins in program history. Got to be happy about it.
Was so thrilled to be able to see it in person. An amazing upset against the Red Hawks. A long time waiting for it. How did they get that done, Wyatt?
Well, if you just look at the stats right here, I thought the biggest one was time of possession. Pioneers had 35 minutes to Montclair State's 24. That's a big thing, and that's something they've struggled in the last couple of weeks.
And this is the first time we've seen William Paterson really impose their will on a team since the Alfred State game. As you see, the time of possession, that's a big difference. 11 minutes of time for the Pioneers is a huge difference. And again, they got after it early and often and put their foot on the gas and didn't let up.
Justin, what do you think here?
I'll tell you what, man. Like you're saying, first down's another thing that William Paterson struggles in.
Sure.
Last week they had 8, and now they doubled it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a great job by the Pioneers. They had to get those first downs to keep the offense on the field. And the result of that, the time of possession battle, once again. These are 2 things the Pioneers have struggled with as of late, and that's 2 big wins for them.
Chris, what'd you see?
Hey, William Paterson, like Justin said, went out there and handled their business on offense. They had 8 first downs last year and 16 this year. So they ran the ball early, got things going for them, which opened up their passing game. You saw 2 touchdowns to DeMarsico, and you got to give credit to offensive coordinator James Hickey for his consistent play calling.
Absolutely. It was just a balanced attack. The Pioneers got it done through the air and on the ground. It was really the first time we've seen the offense completely come together and put forth an effort that, ultimately came away with a victory. First time in how long? You said 23 years. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Now,
can't beat it. Route 46 rivalry, fellas.
Fellas, one of the biggest stories is the fact that we had 2 of our main backs out. Third stringer Akil Daniels-Lundy had a day. Wyatt, tell us about it.
Well, I thought he came in here, like Chris said, he's on the scout team, came in. We're going to take a look at these highlights. He had 25 runs, ran for about 85 yards. He was running between the tackles, north-south runner. He's a tough guy. And you know what? He took it all over Montclair State, who, frankly, coming into the game was the better rushing team. But William Paterson, on that given day, looked a lot better than them.
Right. Dylan, what'd you see here?
Nothing more than north-south running, fellas. Not a whole lot of east-west. Positive yardage was key for the Pioneers to be successful. And as we see right here, positive yardage. Right. So a good job up front by the offensive line and a great job of finding the hole by the backs.
You already know what's coming. I've been calling for it since, I believe, the first episode of Sports Desk. I'm waiting for the backs to get the ball. The backs finally get the ball, and they beat Montclair State for the first time in 23 years. That's all I got for you, Mason.
Big win. Chris?
This was a guy who was on scout team 2 weeks ago. to now moving up to being the starting running back. When he found out he was going to be the starter, his work ethic didn't change. He still continued to work hard. So going forward, he said, okay, I'm going to be the number one guy. I got to get the ball. I got to do what I have to do. And that's what he did. He made sure everybody who didn't know who number 45 was now knows.
Now, you mentioned going forward. Big momentum going into these games, but we've got a tough schedule ahead of us, Wyatt.
I don't think, I mean, it's going to be tough going against Frostburg State, but this defense is scary good. Between the way Tyler Gross has been playing, Omar Mahmoud, and Craig Kimbrough on the outside, this defense should be fine going forward as long as the offense can move the ball like they did against Montclair State and run the ball 50 times and keep control of the clock.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions coming into the season about the Pioneers' defense, especially in the middle of that defense with Carlo Campanetta gone, and Tyler Gross just stepped right in and filled the spot tremendously. As you said earlier, he could have been the Pioneer of the week, perhaps, but Anthony DeMarco had a monster game. So again, it's just a total team effort. The sky's the limit for this Pioneers team moving forward if they can get a win against a team like Montclair.
Justin, what'd you say?
No doubt. I think this whole team so far this year has been a product of resiliency. You talk about Daniels Lumley stepping up as a third-string running back and providing for the team, something they haven't had so far. The defense holding on the end when it seemed like, oh, it's happening again versus the Red Hawks, where it was the fumble and plays like that happening. A product of resiliency for sure. And if they can keep that up through the rest of the season, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Chris, wrap it up for us.
Pioneers have to continue to execute. You know, they did a great job doing that against Montclair, but it can't just be a one-time thing. The defense also did a good job holding Montclair's offense 50 yards rushing.
Right.
Now, Isaiah Diaz-Mays, he's the number one guy right now. It could change. Any bad performance, any good performance, you saw what happened with Waldron. A bad performance took him out of the game, and Isaiah was a starter. So going forward, the momentum needs to keep going. Frostburg's coming off momentum too. They just had a big win against Kane, and that was a conference game for them too. So we'll have to see going forward. You know, it's going to come down to executions and turnovers.
I think we all really want to see the same squad that we saw on the field last week going into this game here. Although the football team took front page news this week, the rest of the Pioneers were busy as well. Let's throw it over to Dante Vocaturo for the scoop on the rest of the athletic department.
Volleyball lost a rough match to Stockton on Wednesday, dropping straight sets. Sophomore Kendall Caruso led the Pioneers in defeat, netting 14 assists and 11 digs. Putting the Osprey loss behind them, William Paterson hosts John Jay and Cedar Crest College in a doubleheader Saturday at the Rec Center. Shifting fields, men's soccer went to the draw with the Sal's Wednesday night. A 19th-minute goal from freshman Keyshawn Branch Sharp evened the score at 1, but despite outshooting the Bulldogs 18-2, neither side could reel one in the rest of the match. Now 6-4-2 on the season, the Pioneers head to Kane University on October 8th. On the other side of the pitch, women's soccer continues to roll in the midst of a 4-game winning streak. After an 8-0 win over John Jay, the Pioneers continued the hot streak with a 2-0 shutout at Drew University on Wednesday. WPU was led by the hot foot of freshman Marissa Adelman, who scored a pair of goals in victory. The Lady Pioneers are now 9-2-1 and host Kane University on Saturday, October 8th.
Thank you, Dante. Best of luck to all of our fellow Pioneers this coming week. Don't go anywhere. Baseball is coming up right after the break.